So today I'm joined by Harlequins back rower Alex Dombrandt, one of our athlete management clients here at ENGAGESPORT. We're talking to Alex from home and we're just going to chat a little bit of rugby, his rugby career so far, looking into the future, training in lockdown and that sort of thing. So yeah, check it out. What's kind of just been like your highlight of your rugby career so far that's just like really stood out to you, kind of the turning point in your career that you would say?
Probably, well, obviously, my debut for Quins was a pretty special day. Obviously, growing up supporting Quins, and then obviously to be lucky enough to play for them, and then just to do your debut, like your first game, is always a game that always sticks out, I think. So I was on the bench against Argent at home, and it was a home game, and I had like all my family there, so it was obviously a nice day for everyone. So that definitely sticks in a memory for sure. And then probably big game 11. So my first season, so last season, at Twickenham in front of a sellout crowd. I think like just an amazing experience to sort of play at Twickenham and have all my friends and family there. And yeah, it was just a good day when we got a good win, and it was just that was just a great day for everyone, I think.
Because I'm right in saying you went straight from university and started playing for Quins, didn't you? So was that always the goal? That was who you always wanted to play for, or?
I guess like towards the end of my university, like 3 years, it was sort of apparent that professional rugby could be like a route that I was to go down. And then like I had a couple of clubs interested, one of them being Harlequins. And then when that came up, it was sort of a no-brainer for me. It was the right decision to make, and obviously lucky enough that it's sort of my local team to like my family and stuff, so it all worked out quite well.
You mentioned about a highlight was kind of that first game.
Yeah.
Do you find there was like, what was the pressure kind of like, and do you still feel that pressure every time you play, or is it slowly turning into excitement? Or
Yeah, no, I was definitely nervous, and I think because I was on the bench as well, I was like, it's like I think I come on with like 20 minutes left, so for an hour you're just sitting watching the game, and you're just watching everything unfold, and you're thinking, when am I going to go on? Am I going to go on after 5 minutes because someone gets injured, or am I not going to get on? You're thinking like, oh, when I get on, what's my first sort of like job going to be doing? And your mind's going a bit crazy and stuff. So I was definitely nervous because at the end of the day, the last thing you want to do is come on and then mess up straight away. So no, I was definitely nervous, but I think as soon as you get on and you make your first tackle, or you do your first carry, you slowly build into the game. And I think it just goes for your career as well. The more and more you play, the more and more you like get used to playing in front of crowds, and that pressure, it sort of becomes instilled in you, and that those nerves at the start, like you said, it sort of turns into excitement, I think, and you just want to get out there.
you mentioned that maybe rugby, like playing professionally, wasn't always like the plan, or you weren't sure if it was going to be the career for you. What were you sort of considering otherwise? Was it always going to be within sport as a career?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I could see myself doing something outside of sport. I think it was probably going to go into like teaching and coaching. I think maybe like in a school, and that was sort of what my degree sort of, that was like the primary job, I guess, to come out of with that degree. And so for me, it was teaching and coaching, and just still being involved within the sport because it's a sport that I love so much. So yeah, that would have been my career path probably.
Mm. So if you feel like you've achieved like a really big goal, obviously playing with Harlequins, is there a longer term goal? Like, do you think about your next goal about being within rugby, or about just in life in general in the much longer term?
Um, I guess the ultimate goal would to play internationally. I think now I'm here, and now it's going quite well. You do want to play at the top, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to take it as far as I could. So I guess that's the ultimate goal. But for me now, I guess I just want to be playing week in, week out for Quins, and just trying to put in good performances. And hopefully, if I can do that in the short term, then that will mean that the long term goal will come whenever it's ready to come.
If you look at obviously the Six Nations recently, you were getting like a lot of support and obviously media attention around in kind of demanding your call up to the Six Nations squad. But what was your take on that whole situation, aside from what everyone else thought? Did you think it was your time?
Like, there was obviously a lot of talk around myself and the squad. And yeah, I guess you do hear about it. And I thought I had, like, I'll be honest, I thought I had like a good chance of being in the squad. I thought I'd been playing quite well leading up to the Six Nations, but it obviously wasn't to be. So it was a bit disappointing. But it's, you just got to accept it and take it on the chin and move on. I didn't, I found out that I wasn't in the squad, and it was a bit frustrating for that afternoon when I found out. But then after that, I was sort of over it, really. Do you know what I mean? I just got back to Quins and just wanted to play well. And we had a few big games coming up, like the Saracens one. So it was quite good.
So you kind of found, rather than it maybe it knocked you back for a bit, but it actually started to motivate you in the end to just work that bit harder to get there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just wanted to go out and put good performances in and prove why I should be there.
Who would you say is the best person you've ever played with, and then also against in a game?
Best player I've played with. I think probably either Danny Kerr or Marcus. I think Marcus, at such a young age, what he's already achieved in the game has been unbelievable. I think he's got about 80 caps already for Quins, and he's 20 or whatever he is. And I just think the way he just embraces the game, and he's already like a Quins leader. He runs the game for us, and playing with him and seeing what he's achieved in the game already and what he's achieving is pretty special. Gab Zibatoye on the wing, like his finishing's pretty special. I think there's been quite a few videos this season of his Superman-esque finishes. So there are a few.
And then what about
who have I played against? I was lucky enough to play in the England 15 against Barbarians at the end of last season. So I'd probably say, and they were quite a few players at that. Bill Mata, the Fijian number 8, he was pretty special. And yeah, they just had players that could do whatever they wanted, really, and you couldn't really touch them. So
you base your answers a little bit more around like who you can kind of learn from, if anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think when you say who's the best player I've played against, I sort of look at who I aspire to be and what they can do in the game and what I want to try and achieve in the game and how I want to play the game.
And then what about that with regard to training, if you will? Like, do you have like a favorite person to train with based on that?
Yeah, probably. Well, me and Gabs like to do like some offloading together, because that's like the type of game that we like to play, and we like to just do a little like messing about sort of drills where we're just reaction type of thing. And I guess Semi Kunatani, the Fijian for Quins, he likes to offload the ball and he likes to play like extravagant type of games. So I quite like to hang around with him, and he can do some pretty special stuff. So yeah.
So you finding it, obviously, with what's going on at the moment lately with being in lockdown, are you finding it's quite a struggle to train when you're used to obviously training with so many others? Is it hard to keep yourself motivated in lockdown, or are you finding you have a lot of time to do so?
Yeah, it's tricky. I think finding my motivation's sort of like up and down. Some days I'm got quite high levels of motivation and I'm raring to go, and then some days you wake up and you're like, oh, I can't really be bothered, and you just sort of try and grind it out. But I do miss like the boys and like training with other people, just seeing other people. I think when you go and you're doing running sessions and you're doing running sessions on your own, it can be quite hard to push yourself and be motivated. Whereas if you're a couple of times I've done running sessions with Luke Northmore, obviously socially distancing, but it's nice to have someone to try and you can push yourself against, sort of thing. And I think that helps with the motivation for sure. It is hard on your own when you're just running on your own in a big field. Do you know what I mean?
Is that what you focus more on then? It's more about the running, like the cardio
Um,
training?
yeah, well, I definitely have to keep my cardio up, otherwise I come out of lockdown looking like Augustus Gloop. So I got myself a watt bike, and I just, whenever I get bored, I just jump on that for 20 minutes, half an hour, just to try and earn my chocolate brownies in the evening, basically.
Fair enough. And then what about just finally positions? Do you find you have a preferred position, and maybe why?
Yeah, so like my two probably positions are 6 or 8, but I definitely prefer number 8. I just feel like I can get in the game a bit more. Obviously, back if you're on the back of the scrum, and you know you're like the link between the forwards and the backs. I quite like having that responsibility to on my shoulders to try and link up with the scrum halves and stuff. And I just feel like I can get in the game a bit more and utilize my strengths a bit more rather than being at 6.
Well, it away to Chisholm, inside to Dombrandt, he's got to run to the line. One already today, Skinner chasing him down, Dombrandt's in, and that